Okay, this is my food heritage presentation, and I decided to do it on the country of Fiji. Okay, so here's a map of Fiji that I included, as you can see on the left. And with this map, you can kind of see all the different islands. Um, and then I wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose the country Fiji. Um, I've always heard about it and seen a lot of beautiful photos, and I basically overall just thought it would be really interesting to know more about Fiji's traditional foods and what they eat and how they prepare them, which is what my presentation is going to be on. And then I wanted to include a fun fact, and that is that Fiji itself, the country, is actually composed of over 300 different islands. Okay, so this is the climate slide. As you can see on the left, I included a photo of some cows in Fiji, and this slide relates to livestock and crops and how Fiji's climate kind of affects all that stuff. So, Fiji is really susceptible to heavy rainfall and storms. They just encounter a lot of rain pretty much all the time. And of course, those things ends up resulting in floods. And then, because of these floods, a lot of their livestock animals and species end up dying out. And then a big thing is their crops too end up becoming ruined as a result of these floods because they're just not in the right environment to survive with the climate. Okay. For my very first traditional food, it's pronounced kawaki. It's Fiji's only edible sea urchin. Out of all over the 300 islands, it's the only edible sea urchin. So because of this, it's also considered a delicacy. It's also pretty much only collected by women rather than men. And because of this, a lot of women end up making careers from finding this sea urchin and preparing it to be sold. So this sea urchin, it could either be eaten raw, but it's more commonly cooked over fire or using fire. Okay, so I included two more pictures. The top one or the one on the left are the sea urchins actually being cooked over fire, like I mentioned in the previous slide. And then the photo on the right, or the lower photo, is exactly how you would find it. Okay, for my second traditional food, I chose daruka. It's considered Fiji's asparagus, like how we have asparagus here. It's considered the asparagus over there. This plant comes in both red and green varieties, and with those red and green, they have different textures. One's a little bit harder, while the other is softer. And then for this, it could either be roasted and eaten by itself, but it's more commonly either cooked in coconut milk or it's mixed into different type of curries, whether that be spicy or regular. And then this next slide, I have some more photos. So the very first one on the left is the red version of the daruka, and then previously I had shown the green. The middle photo is it's being used to go in a curry, and then the very right hand photo is actually it canned and sold in Fiji. For my third traditional food, I chose taro, which is actually the only one out of all the foods that I had actually heard of before. And I feel like here it's most commonly done in like a tea or a drink type of food. But over there, taro is actually a really, really large staple, and they use it really similar to how we would use potatoes or yams. So it's either made into like mashed potatoes or fries, which are the two most common ways the taro is used. It's so popular and such a staple that there's a whole day dedicated to it in Fiji known as Taro Day. And then for the three photos, the first one on the top is taro being made into mashed potatoes, which looks just like mashed potatoes here, but made with potatoes. And then the other one next to it are fries served with spicy mayo, also made out of the taro plant. And the bottom one is taro in its original form being sold at a market. Okay, my fourth traditional food is called nama. It's they're thought of as sea grapes because they look so familiar to green grapes, but they're actually known as a type of seaweed found only in shallow waters, and these are super, super easy to come by. In Fiji, they're used as a garnish, whereas over here, I feel like these are a little bit more incorporated into meals. An example would be how they're used like with sushi. But in Fiji, they're either added to coconut milk to make like a thicker paste, or they're served on top of a salad as a garnish. And then these two photos, the left one is the process of this seaweed being mixed in with coconut milk to make the paste, and then the other photo is them on top of a salad. My fifth traditional food is called fish sarua. It's a type of curry, and it's most commonly served at weddings, usually with the side of white rice, sometimes by itself. It's also known as one of the most spicy dishes or spicy curries in Fiji, and they make sure to use spices that pair very well with the fish because it is a white fish. And then for the photo, this is more of from the first photo and then going to this one's more of a stew or a soup type of fish sarua. And then you can see there's cilantro on top, and it's served with a spoon. My sixth traditional food is called palasami. So it's made with boiled taro leaves, and it's either mixed in with curry or coconut cream. A lot of people say the leaves resemble a spinach-like taste once it's mixed in with coconut cream. And there's both vegetarian and non-vegetarian versions because sometimes they add meat, usually ground beef or ground turkey. And then this photo, the top left one is, this is a non-vegetarian version. As you can see, there's some meat in it. And then the other one is also one being made with meat, but it kind of shows the process. As you can see, they have the leaves at the top and then their mixture in the bowl along with the can of coconut cream. Okay, my final traditional food I'm going to talk about is called cassava cake. It's made with another really, really common root vegetable used in Fiji, kind of like taro, just how it's super traditional and used in a lot of dishes. This root vegetable is used to make a lot of sweet desserts like this one. The cassava cake has a sticky rice-like texture, and it's usually made with a lot of butter. Sometimes it's either eaten by itself or it's topped with either preserved or fresh fruit, which either one. As you can see, the other photo I've attached it's the same thing. It's just before it's been cut, and then this is right out of the oven in a pan. And then here are my references, and that's it. Thank you.